As you can tell by the previous story, AI, it really is one of the hottest topics in tech for 2024. And enterprise IT companies are really starting to focus on it. Storage and networking companies are retooling products and plans to capitalize on AI training markets. They've been announcing new offerings all year to keep GPUs fed. And the chip makers definitely aren't slowing down. You know the names: NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Qualcomm. Seemed like every week there was some new AI focused processor that was being released. And AI infrastructure even became a new tech field day topic area led by our very own Stephen Foskett. So, with that in mind, let's take a closer look at all the things AI.
Let's not take a look at all the things AI because we got all these AI stories in here. But let's talk about AI infrastructure. Certainly, there's been a lot of excitement around this among IT infrastructure companies, uh, and why not? This is where the money is, and they are very frank about that. So we have seen every company. Networking companies, we've seen presentations at Tech Field Day events from companies like Arista and Cisco and Juniper and many others, and Fabrica, talking about how they're going to interconnect AI systems ever faster. Tom, you spent a lot of time talking about Ultra Ethernet and the options for interconnecting from different networking technologies, whether it's things like NVLink or Ultra Ethernet or InfiniBand. We've also, of course, talked quite a lot about the underlying storage and data management that is required for AI applications. Now, this has been a major driver of the success for some of the companies in the space. Vast Data, for example, has been a big winner in the AI training market. They have a huge share there with some very big customers. They've also rolled out some incredible new features all year long on their systems. Another company that's seen some really solid success is Weka. They have a scale out storage platform that has been taken up by a lot of these AI companies. Hammerspace came and talked to us about how their system is being used. We've also seen many other companies in the space: NetApp, Pure Storage, HPE, Dell. One of the bigger ones later in the year was actually our friends over at MinIO. They introduced their next generation product, and it's actually called AI Store because it is designed around the requirements of AI applications. Another thing that companies like MinIO and Vast and some of these others are doing is they're also integrating other AI features, data management, vector databases, the ability to support more than just raw storage. And of course, that's what we've heard from companies like Click and companies in the data space as well. There's a lot of action going on supporting the infrastructure of AI. I'm very excited to say that AI infrastructure is going to be a topic of Tech Field Day that I'm going to be running. I expect to hear a lot from these companies at that event. Now, moving up the stack, though, 2024 saw the release of the next generation NVIDIA chip, Blackwell. This is a major theme in the industry. Now, Blackwell was shown way back in March. They named it for American mathematician David Blackwell, and it is absolutely a monster. So far, we're actually hearing that Blackwell, despite rumors throughout the year that it was delayed or there was some problem with it, Blackwell's really coming on now strong at the end of the year. We're seeing a lot more deployment of this technology. And of course, surprise, surprise, it's a lot bigger, better, faster, stronger, and hungrier than the previous systems. And it works really well. So NVIDIA's continuing to dominate there. But how much will they dominate? Well, they acquired Run AI, which gets them into a little bit more of the software and developer side of things. But AMD has really followed their lead. So we saw AMD, for example, acquiring Silo AI earlier in July. They also bought a company called ZT Systems in August. These were part of AMD's effort to really challenge the strengths that NVIDIA has in this market. They're improving their software interfaces. They're improving their acceptability by developers. And in the case of ZT, they're improving their ability to deliver OEM systems to the biggest hyperscalers. And AMD, of course, also has their own GPU line that they've revved this year. And we're hearing very, very good things about AMD's GPUs. Now, all of this kind of culminated near the end of the year when we learned that AMD is actually ahead of NVIDIA in terms of the new systems on the top 500 supercomputer list that was announced in November at the supercomputing show. That, I think, shows that AMD is really in a strong position to challenge NVIDIA for enterprise AI dominance. But of course, there's other companies here as well. We talked about these Copilot PCs with Qualcomm. Well, Qualcomm has an extremely strong mobile AI platform for inferencing, and that could see much, much more uptake. We've also heard so many stories about Marvell out there helping companies develop and deploy custom AI chips. We've seen custom AI chips from most of the major hyperscalers getting rapid deployment. Google made news about that recently, as did AWS. We've also, of course, seen the incredible rollout of Apple's M series and next generation iPhones, which support a lot of AI power on board. And this all gives me hope that, frankly, all of the demands of these AI systems, it sounds pretty terrible, as we talked about in our story about power consumption. It sounds like AI really is going to eat the earth. But I think we're turning the corner here on AI to the point that instead of building ever bigger systems, and of course we are getting ever bigger systems. I mentioned, the XAI, the biggest supercomputer for AI in the world. Instead of focusing so much on that, we're now starting to say, what are we using this tech for? Where is it running? How is it possible? I mean, we're running basically the equivalent of ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion and things on our iPhones now, which, gives me hope that maybe we're also going to figure out how to make this AI technology something that will be supportable and sustainable. And all of these companies are part of that story.